Page 51. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Su Yuntao raced back to Holy Soul Village and found Old Jack right away. Old Jack tensed up as soon as he saw Su Yuntao 3 months prior. Su Yuntao had tasked him with convincing Jiang Chen to study at the Spirit Hall, a mission he'd failed. Before Su Yuntao could even speak, Old Jack blurted out, "Master Su Yuntao, I'm sorry, I couldn't get that kid Jiang Chen to agree to join the Spirit Hall." Su Yuntao paused, then said, "Old Jack, that doesn't matter anymore. Where's Jiang Chen's grave? I want to pay my respects." "Master Su Yuntao, are you pulling my leg?" Old Jack asked, astonished. If it weren't Su Yuntao standing before him, he might have whacked him with his cane. "Old Jack, it's my fault. I'm responsible for Jiang Chen's death," Su Yuntao said apologetically. "What?" Old Jack's eyes glazed over, and he nearly collapsed. Su Yuntao reacted quickly, catching him. "Village Chief Jack, don't be so upset. If it wasn't for me, Jiang Chen would still be alive." Old Jack struggled, grabbing Su Yuntao's collar. "Explain this to me. When and how did Xiao Chen die?" Now it was Su Yuntao's turn to be confused. "Didn't Jiang Chen drown in the river a few days after his awakening? Or was he killed, maybe?" Old Jack lost it, swinging his cane at Su Yuntao. "Get outta here. I sent him to NaN Junior Soul Master Academy a few days ago. You're telling me he died 3 months ago? You came all this way just to mess with me." Old Jack's words threw Su Yuntao for a loop, but he quickly grabbed Old Jack's shoulder, his voice full of excitement. "You're saying Jiang Chen isn't dead?" "Of course not." Old Jack was still furious. "Everyone in the village can vouch for that. If you don't believe me, go check out NaN Junior Soul Master Academy." The truth finally dawned on Su Yuntao. Something had happened that he and Cece didn't know about. Could it be that Mtlnovel didn't kill Jiang Chen, but just lied to Cece, and let Cece lie to me? He wondered. "Now, tell me, what's your real reason for coming to our Holy Soul Village today?" Old Jack demanded, slamming his cane on the ground, glaring at Su Yuntao. Su Yuntao's careless joke about Jiang Chen's life had crossed a line, and Old Jack didn't care about Su Yuntao's status. Actually, I just came to apologize," Su Yuntao said awkwardly, before turning tail and running. He was so embarrassed by his massive blunder. If he didn't leave, Old Jack might beat him with his cane. Having rushed to Holy Soul Village, Su Yuntao quickly ran away again. This time, he wasn't feeling guilty, but energized. He wanted to share the good news with Cece. Maybe he could use Jiang Chen to turn the tables and get revenge on Mtlnovel. Jiang Chen never imagined that Su Yuntao would come to Holy Soul Village after learning about Mtlnovel's scheme. He thought he could keep his survival a secret. Back at NaN College, Jing Wuming had finished his task and returned to Jiang Chen. "Master, the mission is complete. Miss Cece will make her move the day after tomorrow. Since it's an off day for the Spirit Hall, it should be safe." Jiang Chen hopped off a rock, smiling. "Well done. The day after tomorrow, we'll go to the Spirit Hall together to watch a thrilling show." Chapter 40, The Show Begins, Third Update, Please Vote. This grove in the academy was practically reserved for Jiang Chen and Jing Wuming. The teachers didn't come here, and the students knew it was Jing Wuming's spot, so they steered clear. Since arriving at the academy, Jiang Chen had barely gone back to his dormitory. He practiced here during the day and at night. As they talked, it grew dark, and Su Yuntao had returned to NaN City. When he got home, Cece was back from work. "Cece, good news!" Su Yuntao shouted as he walked in. "What good news?" Cece was surprised. They'd been kicked out today, so why was Su Yuntao suddenly so happy? "Ha ha ha, Jiang Chen isn't dead. The village chief of Holy Soul Village told me that Jiang Chen is studying at NaN Elementary Soul Master Academy." "Really?" Cece was incredulous. She vividly remembered Mtlnovel's confident expression when he personally told her about Jiang Chen's death. "Yes, really. The head of Holy Soul Village sent him to Notting College a few days ago. Another kid named Tang San came along, too. Tang San. I registered a kid named Tang San as a soul master today, Cece said. Su Yuntao froze, then frowned. You're back working at the Spirit Hall. Cece shook her head and explained how Jing Wuming had contacted her and outlined her plan for revenge against Matthew Noah. Su Yuntao clapped his hands and laughed, his laughter carefree. Ever since Matthew had manipulated Cece, Su Yuntao had hated him. Now that Matthew had broken his promise to Cece and kicked him out, Su Yuntao's hatred had grown even stronger. He could already envision Matthew Noah's miserable fate based on Cece's plan. Cece, do you know who that boy who came to find you is? Su Yuntao asked. Cece shook her head. I don't know. He wouldn't reveal his identity. Maybe he's someone Matthew Noah has wronged over the years. Page 52. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. After a moment, Su Yuntao spoke. I was debating whether to send up the report about Jiang Chen's awakening. If your plan works, Matthew's position is toast. But if we highlight Jiang Chen's contribution, he might actually take over the Spirit Hall here in Notting City. Cece paused, then said, let's hold off until after Matthew's dealt with. No rush. He's still in charge, and everything goes through him. Su Yuntao nodded. Then I'll just sit back and watch that old geezer kick the bucket. Jiang Chen, figuring the coast was clear, recalled the little black sparrow. Missing their scheme, time marched on, and another day passed. Cece arrived at the Spirit Hall bright and early. It was closed since it was their day off. Instead of the main entrance, she slipped in through the back. Trailing her was an overweight woman, maybe 40, caked in makeup with unnaturally bright red lips, a real fright. Even Cece, as a woman, found her repulsive. Not just normal guys, this was a hooker. She'd found, specially prepared for Matthew. The woman had been kicked out of the business for being too old and having some nasty disease. Cece had found her at just the right time. The woman, starving, couldn't resist Cece's offer. She'd already gotten a deposit of 5 gold soul coins, and another 5 were coming after the job. She'd never make that much in a month of hard work. After stashing the woman, Cece went to Matthew's room to wait. Around 10, Matthew came in, beaming, and locked the door behind him. It was the Spirit Hall's rest day. Hearing the door, Cece added some hot water to a glass. Cece, I'm here. Matthew's voice boomed with excitement, and he practically sprinted upstairs. He saw Cece's seductive pose, and his eyes nearly popped. Seeing Matthew charging, Cece stopped him and picked up the water. Sweetie, have some water first. You must be thirsty. Matthew had come straight from home and was indeed parched. He grabbed the glass, downed it in one gulp, and moved in for the kill. How about we try a different location this time? Cece purred. Where? Matthew's breathing was heavy and ragged. He was burning with desire, more intense than he'd ever felt, even in his prime. The reception hall downstairs, Cece suggested. Matthew's eyes lit up. He grinned. You know how to play. I'm game. Out there, it's a busy street, people everywhere, and we're in the hall. Just thinking about it gets me going. Cece dashed downstairs, and Matthew hurried after her, but when he reached the bottom, Cece was gone. Matthew was on fire, feeling like he was about to explode. Cece. Cece. He called out. Suddenly, the heavy woman Cece had brought emerged, smiling lewdly, and waddled toward him. Hiding in the shadows, Cece nearly threw up, but Matthew shouted, Cece. Where'd you go? He grabbed the obese woman and started groping her like a madman. Seeing that things were going according to plan, Cece quietly slipped out the back and went to a tea house across from the Spirit Hall. Upstairs, Su Yuntao was waiting. Cece, did it go smoothly? He asked as she arrived. Cece nodded, smiling. Without a hitch. Let's just watch the show. Su Yuntao stared eagerly at the Spirit Hall entrance. Soon, very soon, he'd witnessed the spectacle. At a window on the second floor of the restaurant next door, a teenager and a 6-year-old boy sat. their eyes glued to the spirit hall's door. These were Jing Wuming and Jiang Chen, who had just arrived. By 10 in the morning, the street was bustling, especially the section where the spirit hall was, the prime real estate in Notting City. Almost everyone passing the spirit hall looked respectful and serious. To most, the spirit hall was sacred. Ordinary people and most soul masters saw it as inviolable. But today, the spirit hall's majesty would be shattered, and it might become a laughingstock across the entire Douluo Continent. Just as passers-by were gazing reverently at the spirit hall, the doors burst open from the inside. An octogenarian and an obese, grotesque woman came tumbling out, entangled like there's no tomorrow. Chapter 41, Alarming the Pope. In under half a minute, the noisy street fell silent. Carriages stopped, vendors ceased hawking, pedestrians froze, diners forgot to chew. All staring wide-eyed at the bizarre scene unfolding in front of the spirit hall. Page 53. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. The silence was so thick you could hear a pin drop. Everyone was stunned, completely floored by what they'd just witnessed. That was Master Mtlnovel. Someone finally shouted, and the street erupted in noise again, all focused on Mtlnovel. But Mtlnovel always seemed like such a kind, gentle old man. How could he do something so insulting to the spirit hall? Some people were still in disbelief. Who knows what set him off? Maybe he was always like this deep down. I've seen plenty of wolves in sheep's clothing. Wow. I heard he's over 80 years old. The guy's a real powerhouse for his age. Terrifying. Ugh. My eyes are burning. I'm gonna be sick. As soon as the first person vomited, it set off a chain reaction. Almost every man on the street started retching, and even the women gagged, their faces turning green. Jiang Chen, who had been sipping tea, sprayed it all over Jing Wuming's face, his expression a mix of shock and amusement. Cece had really done a number on him, totally destroying Mtlnovel's reputation. This kind of scandal was sure to spread like wildfire, throughout the Heaven Do Empire and then across the whole continent within days. Cece, aren't we going a little too far with this? It's going to seriously damage the spirit hall's reputation, Su Yuntao said hesitantly. Cece shook her head. The spirit hall's power is the foundation, this joke won't last long. As time passed, many people had left, shaking their heads in disbelief, but more and more curious onlookers rushed to the scene. Meanwhile, intelligence agents were already spreading the word. Just then, a spirit hall deacon appeared, rushing up in a panic. Master Mtlnovel, what are you doing? He tried to stop him, but Mtlnovel roared and slapped the unsuspecting deacon, sending him flying. After a while, Mtlnovel, looking completely satisfied, stood up, faced the street and stretched, cracking his knuckles. Life is beautiful. He sighed, a serene look on his face. Hey, why is everyone making so much noise? Suddenly, his surroundings changed. He was no longer in the spirit hall but on the street, surrounded by gawkers. Mtlnovel stared at the hundreds of thousands of people watching him, his head spinning, buzzing like a beehive. He felt like it was about to explode. His old body trembled like a leaf, and a mouthful of blood threatened to erupt, but he swallowed it down with a mighty effort. Wasn't I in the spirit hall? How did I get out here? Can anyone tell me what happened? Questions flooded Mtlnovel's mind, and he even turned to look for Cece, but when he spotted the woman, eyes rolling back in her head, just barely clinging to life, his heart skipped a beat. He couldn't hold it in any longer. He spewed a geyser of blood and collapsed unconscious. Master Mtlnovel. The spirit hall deacon scrambled up, carried Mtlnovel back into the spirit hall, and slammed the door shut. Wow! The crowd roared, the atmosphere even more charged, everyone buzzing about what they'd just seen. Hey, why isn't that woman moving? Someone asked. Yeah, why is she so still? Guzi, go check on her. A skinny man was shoved forward. He grinned and scurried over to the woman. Seeing the woman up close, Guzi's heart jumped into his throat. He reached out and checked her nostrils. She's dead. Guzi yelled in surprise. Wow! The crowd roared again. Damn, she actually had that disease. Erguzi scrambled back in horror, tripping and tumbling down the steps. What's wrong? Tell us. It's, that thing. Oh my God, I almost touched her. That everyone's face went pale, and they backed away as fast as they could. Who wasn't afraid of that kind of disease? Except for some healing spirit masters who could treat it, there was practically no cure. Ordinary people who caught it were doomed, their bodies would rot from the inside out. It was a death sentence, the most horrible torture imaginable. Get away from me, Erguzi, you nasty thing. Thousands of people scattered in a panic, and the whole spectacle finally fizzled out. Jiang Chen lost his appetite, and he and Jing Wuming joined the flow of people heading towards Nodding College. Cece, that woman died, Su Yuntao said. Cece sighed. I didn't expect things to end like this. I wanted her to go to another city to get away from everything, but I guess that wasn't in the cards. But she was close to the end anyway. Maybe this was a kindness. Let's just wait. This is going to get reported to the Pope's palace real soon, and then the enforcers will be all over the place. Is your report on Jiang Chen finished? Get it submitted. With all his accomplishments, he's sure to become the next palace master. Cece, I've never thought of becoming the palace master. Maybe I'm not the right person, Su Yuntao said. Page 54. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Don't you dare talk about yourself like that. You're the best, got it? Su Yuntao stopped him, her fingers pressing to his lips. Hey, master, didn't you take care of Mtlnovel yourself? Jing Wuming asked, clearly not buying it. Jiang Chen waved it off. Let's just drop it. What he did today warrants 100 deaths, and the spirit hall won't let him off easy anyway. Finally, this whole thing is over. Now I can focus on training at the academy. That afternoon, Deacon Zhou from the Spirit Hall HQ showed up again, this time bringing a posse of other deacons. Aside from Deacon Zhou, who was a soul sect cultivator, the rest were all soul venerables. They hauled Mtlnovel away the second they stepped foot in the Nodding City Spirit Hall. They didn't have the authority to deal with Mtlnovel directly, so they were holding him tight, waiting for the Pope's palace law enforcement team to arrive. Matthew found out what was happening the moment he woke up and nearly had a heart attack. Luckily, Deacon Zhou's team included a healing soul master who saved his life just in the nick of time, and Cece, as the head deacon of the Nodding City Spirit Hall, naturally took over Mtlnovel's job. That evening, a coded message was zipping off through the Spirit Hall secure channels, headed straight for the Pope's palace. By noon the next day, the Mtlnovel incident had blown up all the way to the Pope's palace. The Pope, furious, immediately dispatched the law enforcement team to Nodding City to escort Mtlnovel back to Spirit Hall City to make amends. Chapter 42, God-tier martial soul. Meanwhile, inside the Pope's palace in Spirit Hall City, the very heart of the Spirit Hall's power, a woman was sitting on the throne. She wore a stunning black robe, embroidered with golden patterns, a 9-tiered purple gold crown on her head, and clutched a scepter studded with gems beyond counting. Her skin was flawless, her face near perfect, and she radiated an aura of sacred nobility. Just sitting there, she commanded respect and worship. This was Bibi Dong, the current Pope of the Spirit Hall, hailed as the most powerful leader in its history, with skills that ran deeper than anyone could guess. She was alone in the hall, and though her presence was formidable, a touch of sorrow clouded her brow. Her worry wasn't about the Mtlnovel mess. Sure, he'd made the Spirit Hall look bad, but it was a problem she could easily squash. It was when the night grew still, or when she was alone, that she couldn't help but dredge up the past. The teacher she had revered had transformed into a monster, violating her without mercy. The man she had loved more than anything had been forced out of the Spirit Hall by that same teacher. And when she finally escaped his clutches and went searching for that man, she discovered he had fallen for someone else, and she herself, tainted by her teacher's violation, had borne a child who should never have been. Though she loved her daughter with all her heart, every time she looked at her, she was reminded of that animal. The pain of it made her unable to face her daughter normally. Her life had been a brutal tragedy. Even now, as Pope, she couldn't shake off those horrific memories. At that moment, footsteps echoed outside the main hall. The sorrow on Bibi Dong's face vanished, replaced by a regal presence. The footsteps drew closer, and a girl entered. She had long, black hair and a delicate, oval face. She looked only 11 or 12, but her figure was already surprisingly developed, with long, shapely legs, a tiny waist, and a height of around 5 feet 7 inches. As she walked, her hips swayed slightly, exuding a subtle charm. She went straight to Bibi Dong and stopped, looking up at the Pope on the throne with an expression of utmost respect. "Teacher," she said, bowing lightly. The instant Bibi Dong saw the girl, her imposing aura softened, and she became gentle. Hearing the girl's greeting, a warm smile lit up her near-perfect face, seeming to dim the grandeur of the hall. The girl below was momentarily stunned, mesmerized by her teacher. "Nana, are you settling in all right at the spirit hall?" Bibi Dong asked softly. "Thank you for your concern, teacher. I'm doing fine." Although Hulaina answered, a hint of discomfort still flickered across her face. Bibi Dong nodded. "It's only been a few days since you graduated from that place. It's natural you haven't fully adjusted. From now on, you can train by my side." "Thank you, teacher." Hulaina was touched. Aside from her brother and Yen, no one had ever treated her with such kindness. Having lost her mother at a young age, Bibi Dong's care gave her a feeling of warmth and nurturing she'd never known. Just then, a platinum bishop wearing a 5-pointed platinum crown rushed in. He was about 70 years old, tall and thin, like a walking stick. Bibi Dong frowned, her regal aura intensifying. "Saras, what's with the panic?" Sensing the Pope's irritation, Salas became flustered and quickly presented a document. "Your Majesty, this is a message from the Nodding City branch. Please take a look." Bibi Dong said, "Didn't I send a law enforcement team there at noon?" "What happened?" Salas stammered. "Your Majesty, this document isn't about Matthew Noah. It concerns a 6-year-old child. A deacon named Su Yuntao in Nodding City awakened, and suspects the child's martial soul is a god-tier martial soul." "Oh." Bibi Dong's interest was piqued. Hulaina quickly took the document and handed it to Bibi Dong. Of course, Bibi Dong didn't buy the god-tier claim for a second. As far as she knew, there was only one god-tier martial soul on the entire continent, the angel martial soul. How could anyone possibly awaken another god-tier soul anywhere else, let alone in a backwater like Nodding City? Even so, she opened the file with a hint of curiosity. Page 55. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. All paperwork from across the mainland goes through the Platinum Bishop. Top secret documents go straight to the Pope, while the rest are reviewed by the Platinum Bishop. A backwater town like Nodding City wouldn't handle top secret stuff, so Salas would have reviewed this document first. Bibi Dong figured Salas wasn't senile yet, so even if the kid in the report didn't have a god-level spirit, his talent must be off the charts. That's probably why the deacon jumped the gun and thought it was a god-level spirit. The spirit hall's reach stretches across the continent. They awaken spirits for free every year, recruiting talent for the hall in the process. If you've got talent, the spirit hall will try to recruit you and train you. The better you are, the more attention you get. The truly amazing ones get sent straight to spirit hall headquarters for elite training. Hulaina is one of those trainees right now. Bibi Dong opened the document casually, just curious, but as she read, her expression turned serious. She read it once, then again, and a smile slowly spread across her face. Salas, standing below, noticed the smile and quickly looked away. He didn't want to stare and accidentally offend the Pope. Bibi Dong closed the document and handed it to Hulaina, then turned to Salas. "You've done well. You're dismissed, and I'll see to your reward later." "Thank you, Your Majesty. It's my duty." Salas beamed and backed out respectfully. "Teacher, does this kid really have a god-level spirit?" Hulaina asked, unable to contain her curiosity any longer. Bibi Dong's reaction had been puzzling, and she finally had to ask. "Take a look for yourself." Bibi Dong smiled. If that deacon, Su Yuntao, isn't exaggerating, it might actually be a god-level spirit. Hulayina quickly read the document and gasped. How could the awakening be so intense? Su Yuntao must be making it up. Bibi Dong smiled at her disbelief. Do you think he'd risk lying to the Pope? Hulayina paused. No way. Exactly. So, what's written here is probably true. Get ready. You just got back from that place, so I'll take you out tomorrow to unwind and clear your head. Chapter 43, Tang San's Challenge. Teacher, what are you saying? Hulayina asked, confused. We're going to NaN City tomorrow, Bibi Dong said with a laugh. What? Just for one kid? You're going in person? Hulayina was surprised. A god-level spirit is no joke. I need to see it for myself. If it's real, I need to get him in our grasp, no slip-ups allowed. Hulayina nodded. Meanwhile, at NaN Junior Soul Master Academy, Jiang Chen was kicking back and training. Why so relaxed? Because he had avenged Mtlnovel, there was no threat from him anymore, so his mood was easy. Every day he would study boxing and body techniques, and work hard to practice his exercises at night. He figured he would live like this in NaN College in the future. Since yesterday, the little black sparrow has been monitoring the situation of the spirit hall. Yesterday afternoon, Mtlnovel was arrested by the deacon team from the nearest sub-hall, waiting for the law enforcement team from the Pope's palace to come escort him. He figured Mtlnovel would be taken to Spirit City and executed publicly or something. Just as he was going through the motions, Jing Wuming hurried into the grove. Young master, Jing Wuming said to Jiang Chen, hesitating. What's up? Jiang Chen asked, surprised. Master, I might have to leave you, Jing Wuming said, sounding a little sad. Leave? Go where? Jing Wuming shook his head. I don't know. My adoptive father said he's sending me to the killer headquarters for some hardcore training. It might take years. Jiang Chen was silent. Jing Wuming was a good helper, and he was used to having him around. The separation sucked. After a moment, he smiled. Then go. Remember to train hard and never slack off. And remember my instructions, don't bite people unless you absolutely have to. Jing Wuming nodded. But young master, if I leave, you won't have anyone to help you. Jiang Chen jumped onto a nearby rock and patted Jing Wuming's shoulder. Don't talk like that. Just go and train hard. I'm already level 14, don't let me leave you in the dust. Jing Wuming nodded fiercely, eyes a little moist. He respected and was grateful to his adoptive father, but he felt a spiritual connection to Jiang Chen. After being around him, he found that his cold personality had changed a lot without him even noticing. That was all thanks to Jiang Chen. When are you leaving? Jing Wuming said, this afternoon. I don't know where the place is. Jiang Chen waved his hand calmly. Go back and pack your things. You don't need to see me again before you go. He wasn't at peace. Jing Wuming was someone he could talk to freely without holding back. His sudden departure left him feeling empty. Jing Wuming stepped back, then knelt down and kowtowed to Jiang Chen. What are you doing? Jiang Chen helped him up. Page 56. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Thanks, Jiang Chen, for sparing my life and giving me a fresh start. Jing Wuming's sincerity was clear. Alright, I got it. Get going. I need to get back to my training. Jiang Chen waved him off. Jing Wuming nodded and left without looking back. Jiang Chen sighed, feeling a sense of something missing. 2 days passed quickly. Jing Wuming had been gone for 2 days, and Jiang Chen sensed that the distance between them was growing, the connection weakening until it disappeared completely. Jiang Chen felt a little helpless, knowing Jing Wuming was now beyond his range. Meanwhile, things were finally happening at the Spirit Hall. Law enforcers from Spirit City had arrived in NaN City without delay. The ruthless enforcers immediately took Mtlnovel back with them. The deacons from the higher-level subtemple were also recalled. Before leaving, Deacon Zhou promised to return to Notting City to hold a new hall master election once the Mtlnovel situation settled down. As far as Jiang Chen was concerned, the Mtlnovel situation was finally over, and the spirit hall's business was no longer his concern. He recalled the little black bird. Just then, Tang San's voice called out. Jiang Chen. You there? Yeah, what's up? Tang San walked over and saw Jiang Chen standing on a rock. My teacher has been recovering these past few days. He wants to see you, have a real conversation with you. Tang San explained. Jiang Chen considered it, then nodded. Okay. After all, the master was Tang San's teacher, and Tang San deserved some respect. Plus, the master's dedication to research was admirable. Jiang Chen followed Tang San and spent over an hour in the master's room. Jiang Chen didn't go into detail about how he obtained his spirit ring, only explaining that he was naturally stronger than most people. He described his martial spirit's characteristics, earning the master's praise. The master declared his zombie martial soul was as good as any of the best. The master concluded that Jiang Chen's physique was so far beyond his studied cases that he'd broken the theoretical limit and absorbed a 1,000-year spirit ring. Therefore, his theory was still correct. Jiang Chen's case was a rare exception. Jiang Chen and Tang San left the master's dorm. It wasn't quite lunchtime yet when Tang San stopped suddenly. Jiang Chen, I want to fight you again. Tang San said abruptly. I'm game. Jiang Chen laughed, eager for another fight with Tang San. Since obtaining his spirit ring, Tang San's spirit power had reached level 13, and he now possessed the blue-silver grasses entanglement skill. He'd undoubtedly improved. On the back hill of Notting College, Jiang Chen and Tang San stood 10 meters apart, ready to fight. Aside from the occasional sparring student, the area was usually deserted. Blue-silver grass. Tang San called out softly, and the blue-silver grass appeared in his hands. It was quite different from when it had first awakened. The blue-silver grass was much thicker now, the leaves almost as wide as a palm, covered in swirling patterns, like mandala snakes. A yellow, century-old spirit ring floated around Tang San. Jiang Chen, release your martial spirit. I won't hold back this time. Jiang Chen nodded, not wanting to appear arrogant. He released his martial spirit, and a purple spirit ring danced around him. Here I come. Tang San warned, and the thick blue-silver grass sprang up from all directions, viciously entangling Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen didn't dodge or use his first spirit ability. He wanted to experience Tang San's first spirit ring's power firsthand. A dozen blue-silver grasses, like venomous snakes, bound Jiang Chen tightly in an instant. Chapter 44. Bibi Dong arrives. Jiang Chen felt the blue-silver grass was strong, difficult for other soul masters of Tang San's level to break free from with brute force alone. The blue-silver grass was also covered in spikes, which, if Jiang Chen remembered correctly, could pierce the target and release the blue-silver grasses. Inherent toxin. The toxin's effect was paralysis. The spikes pierced Jiang Chen's clothes, but his skin was so tough they couldn't penetrate it. Not bad, the strength's okay, but it's not enough. Jiang Chen grinned, and began to exert his strength. He didn't use any soul skills, but with the boost from his zombie body and martial soul, his strength was already terrifying. The blue-silver grass strained immediately, cracks appearing on the vines. Tang San's face changed. Even the bully Xiao from the academy had been helpless against his blue-silver grass, but here was Jiang Chen, about to break free even before using a soul skill. Pretty tough, Jiang Chen complimented, increasing his strength again. Boom! The blue-silver grass wrapped around him exploded into pieces. Page 57. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Still a ways to go. Jiang Chen cut the small talk, let out a wild laugh, and charged at Tang San. Now that he'd felt the sting of Tang San's spirit ability, his next move was to give Tang San a serious beatdown. For Jiang Chen, suppressing Tang San, the original novel's main character, felt incredibly satisfying. He wouldn't even have dreamed of this before. It wasn't until he unlocked the zombie martial soul and activated his system cheat that his confidence started to grow. Tang San had his advantages, but he had even better ones. He'd originally planned to stick close to Tang San, but now he was reconsidering. Maybe making Tang San his right-hand man wouldn't be such a bad idea. Tang San hadn't expected the blue-silver grass to restrain Jiang Chen, but he was still surprised that he couldn't even force out Jiang Chen's soul ability. Is the difference between us really that big? He wondered. Even though he was a little bummed, he didn't slow down. Seeing Jiang Chen coming, he attacked without hesitation. He'd prepared hundreds of pebbles for this duel, stashing them in his belt. Pebbles, also known as migrating locust stones, were common hidden weapons used in martial arts. When thrown, the stones flew like a swarm of locusts, hence the name. With a flick of his wrist, he sent pebble after pebble flying at Jiang Chen. Even though Jiang Chen was much stronger, Tang San's hidden weapons amplified his power several times over, so Tang San was confident that he wouldn't lose to Jiang Chen so easily this time. Seeing the hail of stones, Jiang Chen realized he'd been right. He'd guessed, after last time, Tang San wouldn't let him get close without a fight, using stones. As weapons was actually pretty tame of Tang San. Jiang Chen swung his fists, knocking down stone after stone, but one guy can't do everything, especially when stones were coming from every direction. He'd only been hit 7 or 8 times, but they did hurt. If it had been Tang San's fists, he wouldn't have cared so much. These pebbles were no joke. It was like Tang San's hidden weapon gave him a gun, multiplying his attack power. The hard stones slammed into Jiang Chen, causing sharp pains, and some even shattered on impact. Jiang Chen was shocked by the strength of Tang San's hidden weapons. He shouldn't underestimate the Tang sect. What he didn't know was that Tang San was even more surprised. He was already giving it everything he had, but it was only causing Jiang Chen pain, not any real damage. Jiang Chen roared, trying to break through from the side, but Tang San was throwing hidden weapons too fast. With his purple demon eye, Jiang Chen's speed was no advantage. Desperate, Jiang Chen used his first soul skill, activating his stiff armor possession, which increased his defense 15-fold, and doubled his strength and speed. Tang San only saw Jiang Chen's purple soul ring light up before his appearance changed instantly. He was covered from head to toe in black armor, leaving only his eyes and nose exposed. The gruesome armor had a huge visual impact, shocking Tang San. Jiang Chen stopped. The pain from the stones faded by half, leaving only a slight numbness. Tang San's stones were doing practically no damage now. Jiang Chen roared with laughter, and charged, ignoring the hidden weapons, and quickly closed the distance to Tang San. Tang San's face changed. He shouted, "Stop! Stop! I give up!" The instant the words left his mouth, Jiang Chen's fist stopped inches from his face. Tang San sighed in relief, activating his ghost shadow perishables, and retreated. Jiang Chen was no longer afraid of his hidden weapons. He'd be a fool not to give up. Did he want to get beat like last time, ending up with a bruised face? Actually, he had other hidden weapons in his belt space, like bone-penetrating nails, lancets, and money darts, but those were far more dangerous than pebbles. Even if he didn't know if they'd hurt Jiang Chen, this was just a friendly spar. There was no need to be so ruthless. Backing away, Tang San kept running, heading back to the academy at full speed. Jiang Chen was taken aback by Tang San's sudden surrender. Before he could react, Tang San was gone. Damn it, I lost out. He removed his armor, looking frustrated. Tang San suggested the duel, then gave up and ran. What was that about? Jiang Chen touched his face. There were several bumps, and his eyes were black. He winced at the pain. What a blood loss to be beat up for nothing like this. He didn't know his situation was actually pretty good. Tang San had gradually increased the power of his hidden weapons based on Jiang Chen's condition, and had only used full power at the end. Any other kid would probably have a few broken bones. Right now, the pain all over his body was unbearable, and only eased slightly with his exercises. He didn't dare go back to the dorm, and instead hid in the grove. He couldn't show his face until the swelling went down. He hadn't expected Tang San to get revenge for the mountaintop incident so quickly. Page 58. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Just as Jiang Chen was recovering from his injuries, a group of VIPs arrived in Notting City, important enough to turn the whole place upside down. lost in his solitary healing, Jiang Chen didn't notice a thing. The bumps on his face would probably take days to heal. It was Bibi Dong, Hulaina, and several titled Douluo who arrived, quietly and without any fanfare, at the Nodding City branch of the Spirit Hall. Chapter 45, Hulaina gets her orders, recommendation appreciated. After Matthew made his promise, CC brought Su Yuntao back to the Hall of Spirits. Nobody dared object. The moment Bibi Dong and her group entered the Nodding City Spirit Hall, Su Yuntao, CC, and the others sensed something unusual. No one said a word, but an invisible pressure filled the entire hall. The woman in the lead looked to be around 30. CC was humbled by her almost flawless face. Her powerful aura made it impossible to meet her gaze. When Bibi Dong revealed her identity, Su Yuntao and CC panicked even more. CC knew she was responsible for the Matthew situation. They had already been worried when the authorities showed up that morning. Fortunately, the officials didn't investigate Matthew in detail but took him away directly, allowing them to breathe a sigh of relief. But only a few hours later, the Pope herself, the supreme ruler of the Spirit Hall, was in Nodding City. CC quickly invited Bibi Dong and her party to the most important hall in the Spirit Hall. "Your Holiness, what brings you to the Nodding City branch?" CC asked, trying to sound confident. Bibi Dong smiled, instantly easing the oppressive atmosphere. "Relax. I'm not here to interrogate anyone. I just want to see this kid named Jiang Chen." Su Yuntao and the other deacons finally breathed a sigh of relief. "Which of you is Su Yuntao?" Bibi Dong scanned the deacons. Su Yuntao stepped forward eagerly and said respectfully, "Your Holiness, I am Su Yuntao. Tell me about when you awakened that child spirit. Leave out no details." Bibi Dong's voice was soft and sweet, like a gentle breeze. Su Yuntao calmed his nerves and recounted Jiang Chen's spirit awakening. The elders traveling with Bibi Dong hadn't read the report before, but after listening to Su Yuntao, they understood the purpose of the trip. One elder said, "Your Holiness, what this deacon is saying is unbelievable. I think he's exaggerating." Su Yuntao panicked and quickly defended himself. "Your Holiness, I swear it's the truth. You can send someone to Holy Soul Village to confirm it." "Relax," Bibi Dong said, holding up a hand, which immediately calmed Su Yuntao. "Where is this child now?" "He's in Nodding City, attending the Elementary Soul Master Academy." "Very good. Nana, take Deacon Su Yuntao and retrieve the child." Bibi Dong instructed Hulaina, her new and favored disciple, whom she intended to train. "Yes, teacher," Hulaina replied respectfully and followed Su Yuntao out. "Pope, do you really believe he has a god-level spirit?" the elder asked. "We'll know soon enough, won't we?" Bibi Dong smiled. "Elder Ghost, follow Nana secretly to prevent any accidents." "Yes," another elder replied. Su Yuntao and Hulaina walked down the street toward Nodding Junior Soul Master Academy. Hulaina was in the lead, with Su Yuntao a step behind. He had overheard the girl calling the Pope teacher. As the Pope's disciple, she held an important role, and he didn't dare take any liberties. Even though Hulaina was prettier than Cici and exuded a natural charm, Su Yuntao didn't dare to have any impure thoughts and focused on picturing Cici. Hulaina suddenly turned around, smiled at Su Yuntao, and asked, "Are you afraid of me?" Su Yuntao froze, then quickly shook his head, not daring to speak. "You're interesting," Hulaina said with a playful smile, then ignored him. They arrived at Nodding College. "Miss Hulaina, we're here," Su Yuntao said, stepping forward and displaying his Spirit Hall Deacon token. The concierge quickly opened the door, allowing Su Yuntao and Hulaina to enter. "It's afternoon. The students should be in the dorms," Su Yuntao said. He had been a student at Nodding College and knew the schedule well. The college had 7 student dormitories, with the work-study students always living in Dorm 7, which hadn't changed over the years. Su Yuntao approached the door of Dorm 7 and knocked. "Excuse me, is Jiang Chen here?" he asked politely. Surprised voices came from inside, and several children looked at Su Yuntao excitedly. "It's Lord Su Yuntao. What are you doing here?"